Stalingrad, the Inferno of endurance. Voices from both sides of the battlefield. The Battle of Stalingrad, often regarded as the bloodiest and most harrowing battle in human history, was a brutal contest between the Axis powers, led by Nazi Germany, and the Soviet Union for control of the Soviet city of Stalingrad. This confrontation, which lasted from August 23, 1942, to February 2, 1943, turned the city into a nightmare of destruction, chaos, and suffering. The stories of those who survived, both Germans and Soviets, paint a vivid picture of a battle that was not only a military conflict, but a test of human endurance under unimaginable conditions. The German side, the march to Stalingrad. In the summer of 1942, the German Sixth Army, led by General Friedrich Paulus, marched towards Stalingrad, confident of victory. Hitler believed that taking Stalingrad would deal a devastating blow to Soviet morale and secure a route to the rich oil fields of the Caucasus. At first, the mood among the German soldiers was one of optimism. One German soldier, Hans Eckhart, recounted his early impressions. "We had marched for days under the endless sun of the Russian steppe. The city of Stalingrad appeared like a fortress, a sea of chimneys and factories. The Luftwaffe was bombing it relentlessly. We thought, surely this city will fall within days. Little did we know that it would be the beginning of our end." As the Germans entered the outskirts of Stalingrad, they found themselves facing fierce resistance. The Soviet defenders were not only soldiers but also civilians. For the Germans, who had been trained in mechanized warfare, the battle inside the ruined city turned into a gruesome, house-to-house fight that often lasted for days in a single building. A German officer, Lieutenant Wilhelm Hoffmann, kept a diary during the battle. He described the horrors his men encountered. "We fought for 3 days to take a single factory. The Russians were everywhere, hiding in the ruins, waiting to strike. We would take one floor, and then at night, the Russians would reappear from below, and we'd have to start over again. There were bodies everywhere. The air stank of death. We had no time to bury the dead, and the living were so exhausted they barely noticed." The Soviet side, defending the motherland. For the Soviet defenders, the battle was not just about defending a city, but about survival. Stalingrad had been turned into a fortress by its commander, Vasily Chukov, who famously said, "We will hold the city or die in its ruins." The Soviets employed tactics that turned every street, building, and basement into a battlefield. Tatyana Mykhailova, a Soviet nurse, remembered the early days of the battle. "The city was burning. We had no idea how we would survive, but we knew we had to. I worked in a field hospital just behind the front lines. We were overwhelmed with wounded soldiers and civilians. Many of the men were only boys, barely old enough to hold a rifle. They came to us with terrible wounds, and we had no supplies left. Yet, none of them begged to leave the front. They all wanted to return to the fight. The city became a graveyard." The civilians of Stalingrad played a crucial role in the defense of the city. Workers in factories continued to produce tanks and ammunition even as bombs fell around them. Women, children, and the elderly helped build fortifications. Many took up arms themselves. Sergei Malashev, a young soldier at the time, recalled his experience in the streets of Stalingrad. "We fought for every brick. I was just 18, and I was assigned to a sniper unit. The Germans were like ghosts, always in the shadows. We hid in the ruins, waiting for them to appear. It was terrifying, but we had no choice. Every building became a fortress, and we fought for weeks just to hold on to a single block of the city." Encirclement and starvation. As winter approached, the tide began to turn. The Soviets launched Operation Uranus, a counteroffensive that encircled the German Sixth Army inside Stalingrad. The Germans were now cut off from supplies and reinforcements. Trapped in the city, they faced not only the Soviet army, but also starvation and the bitter cold of the Russian winter. Lothar Menzel, a German soldier, recalled the terrible conditions. "At first, we believed that help would come, but as the weeks passed, the food ran out. We were reduced to eating whatever we could find, rats, dogs, and when those were gone, nothing but frozen breadcrumbs. Many of us had frostbite, and we would shiver all night long. We felt abandoned. The Soviets shelled us day and night. The snow was red with blood. General Paulus, who had been promised reinforcements by Hitler, finally realized that there would be no rescue. Despite Hitler's orders to fight to the last man, the reality of the situation became undeniable. The German army was collapsing from within due to hunger, cold, and Soviet attacks. A Soviet soldier, Ivan Ivanovich, described the sight of the defeated German army. When we entered their positions, I couldn't believe what I saw. These men were not the proud soldiers we had fought for months. They were gaunt, barely able to stand. Their eyes were hollow, and they looked at us with a mixture of fear and relief. They had lost all hope. Surrender and aftermath. On January 31st, 1943, General Paulus, recently promoted to Field Marshal in a last-ditch effort by Hitler to inspire defiance, surrendered. By February 2nd, 1943, the remaining German forces capitulated. Over 90,000 Germans were taken prisoner, though fewer than 6,000 would survive to return home after the war. One Soviet officer, Colonel Nikolai Kravchenko, reflected on the victory. It was a bitter triumph. We had won, but at what cost? The city was destroyed. Thousands of our comrades were dead. The Germans had taken thousands of lives, but in the end, it was their arrogance that destroyed them. Stalingrad was no longer a city. It was a graveyard. Remembrances. In the decades that followed, survivors of the battle on both sides continued to struggle with the memories of what they had endured. Many suffered from post-traumatic stress and the physical wounds of the battle. Yet, their stories remain a testament to the extraordinary human capacity to endure hardship. Yelena Klimova, who was a child during the battle, later reflected on her memories. I remember the sounds, the bombs falling, the screams, the silence afterward. I lost my parents in the battle, but somehow I survived. Stalingrad will always be with me. From the German side, Erich Bauer, who had been taken prisoner, recalled his time in a Soviet POW camp. I was one of the lucky ones. I survived the camps and returned home, but Stalingrad never left me. The faces of my comrades, the hunger, the cold, it is something I carry with me every day. Conclusion. The Battle of Stalingrad was a turning point in World War II, but it was more than just a military victory. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. The stories of those who fought and survived continue to remind us of the terrible cost of war and the endurance required to overcome it. Stalingrad was a battle of wills as much as it was a battle of armies, and its legacy lives on in the memories of those who were there.
Polyspeaks for You incorporates voice control features that allow users to perform essential actions like opening, saving, and creating new documents, as well as interacting with font and document editing dialogues. This is particularly helpful for individuals with disabilities, enabling hands-free operation and more accessible content management. Below are some of the voice control functionalities designed for ease of use. 1. Voice-commanded document handling. Open document. Users can say commands like open document, followed by the file name or location, and Poly will open the document for them. Save document. Commands like save document as or save allow the user to save their work without needing to manually click on buttons. Poly can also handle saving with specific file names or locations as dictated. A new document. A simple voice command such as create new document or start new file will initiate a fresh document in the app. A closed document. Commands like close document or exit can be used to close the current document. 2. Font dialog voice controls. Font style. Users can control font settings by saying change font to Arial or set font at Times New Roman. This would change the selected text's font style. A font size. Commands like increase font size or decrease font size adjust the text size according to user preferences. A font color. Users can use commands such as set font color to red or change font to blue to personalize the text color. 3. Voice-commanded document editing. A text formatting. Commands like bold text, italicized text, underline text, or strikeout text allow users to edit their document easily. For example, Saying bold this text will apply bold formatting to the selected text. Alignment. Users can command alignment changes by saying align left, align center, or align right. A text insertion. A user can say insert text, and the software will insert the given text at the current cursor position. A text navigation. Commands such as go to the top, scroll down, or move to the next paragraph enable users to navigate the document without the need for a mouse or keyboard. 4. Voice-activated help and assistance. Help commands. Users can ask questions like, "What can I do?" or "Help me with saving" to receive guidance on specific tasks. Poly can offer step-by-step instructions based on voice queries. A undo/redo. Voice commands such as undo or redo let users correct mistakes or revert to previous actions in their document. 5. Advanced features for accessibility. Speech recognition training. For improved accuracy, Poly can guide users through the Windows speech recognition training process, adapting to their voice patterns and improving dictation accuracy. A text-to-speech for editing. Users can have text read aloud to them while editing, making it easier to spot errors and refine their documents. These voice-controlled features make Poly Speaks for You an accessible tool for individuals with disabilities, particularly those with visual impairments, mobility issues, or other conditions that limit their ability to use traditional input devices. The hands-free operation helps users maintain independence and improve their document management and editing experience. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. The creator of Poly Speaks for You has always been driven by a passion for giving a voice to those who need it most. Whether it's through text-to-speech technology or voice recognition, the goal has always been to create tools that help individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, communicate and interact with the world in a way that is meaningful and empowering. The stories shared, such as those about the sailors aboard the HMS Victory, are not just about reliving history, they are about the power of voice. Through Poly Speaks for You, the creator saw an opportunity to use storytelling as a medium to convey courage, strength, and resilience, much like the sailors of the past. These stories are intended to inspire and engage users, reminding them of the importance of their voices, both literally and metaphorically. The idea behind these stories is to showcase how technology, particularly speech technology, can be a tool for preserving history, while also empowering users with the capability to share their own narratives. By blending history with technology, the creator of Poly Speaks for You aims to demonstrate how powerful a voice can be in shaping and sharing our world, past and present. In a sense, these stories represent more than just entertainment. They are a way for the creator to give a voice to history, to connect with users in a deeply human way, and to remind them that their voices matter, whether they are telling their own stories or those of others. The creator's work in developing Poly Speaks for You is never just about making a functional tool. It was about making sure that every voice had the power to be heard. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. This content has been adapted from the powerful features of Poly Speaks for You, South Africa's leading accessibility software. Learn more at www.polyspeaksforyou.co.za. We invite you to support this meaningful dyslexic initiative, crafted and developed by an individual who personally understands the challenges of dyslexia.